GMO scare. Recently, the Parliament passed a policy with regards to introduction to GMOs in our economy. I believe, well, it's a good move. Don't get me wrong, it's a good move. Although, what are the repercussions of actually consuming GMO? So many studies have been done with regards to GMO, and GMO has had really detrimental effects to the human health and as well to the environment. For instance, it has been researched that GMO has had an influence into our immune system and our antibody resistance to diseases and all kind of pathogens. But my question is, did our Kenyan government actually conduct research? Recently, I was doing research on a paper with regards to GMO labeling, or rather produce labeling, and how it has influenced consumer behavior. As a Kenyan, I believe once I go to a market, I'd rather find products which are correctly labeled rather than just, finding produce without labeling them and not telling us if they're either GMO or they are naturally, farmed. And I want to call upon, consumers and also producers. I believe this is a conversation that you should have with regards to GMO produce. Proper labeling should be a mandate, and it should be implemented and enhanced or rather facilitated by the government at the local level, because we need to know what we are consuming. We need to know when we are going to the market that the products that we are buying are either organic or they are modified. And this is a step in the right direction, I believe so. The other issue is with research to this specific issue, it has been seen that herbicides and pesticides that have been used formerly by farmers or rather by multinationals in farming production have affected our ecosystem, especially with regards to insects and plant species. And I'd like to know what the Kenyan government is actually doing with regards to that, because we do not want to enhance or rather champion for the extinction of some of these species. We need to be really careful with the kind of GMOs that are going to be introduced in our market and how this also is going to affect our local farmers. As I know, GMO products are very expensive, and I hope that our local farmers will be able to purchase these seedlings and fertilizers that are necessary for farming and large scale production of GMO produce. Also, well, I'd also like to see the research that the government actually did again. This goes to the parliament. I remember back a while back where the policy was being implemented, we had a few political figures who are against this, and they actually mentioned some of the repercussions with regards to implementation of this specific policy. And I commend them for this specific gesture. It shows that at least you are doing what we voted you in to do as your constituents, and it's a step forward towards bettering our community and a better implementation of policies. Kenya is known to be agricultural based, or rather it's an agricultural based market economy. But the problem that we have been experiencing is large scale importation of produce. I really know that this is because there has been so many issues with regards to commodity price increases. Farmers cannot be able to afford fertilizers, seedlings and whatnot, and all those other necessities involved in farming. And it has led to closure of small scale farmers. People cannot afford to do farming because prices of fuel have gone higher. Once they transport their produce into different parts of our country, it becomes expensive, and no one wants to buy expensive stuff. So it has become cheaper to actually import from our neighboring countries such as Uganda, Tanzania, and other countries. And this is a problem that actually we need to face it on as Kenyans and find better ways to actually manage or rather mm, tackle this issue. Being an agricultural market economy, this shows that we are easily influenced or affected, uh, once inflation kicks in, because if we cannot be able to produce the needed commodities that are needed in the production process, we cannot be able to provide affordable food and services to our Kenyan people. And thus, uh, I believe that's one of the major issues as to why they decided to implement GMOs production into the farming sector. Well, I can see that you're trying, but is that really a solution to our Kenyan economy? I don't believe it is. Because what we need to is to go back to our grassroots, uh, methods, traditional methods of farming that have long since sustained us. We need to support our local farmers in terms of, milk production, we, vegetables and uh, greens and cereals. These are the most essential things that you need, because most of our staple food is either ugali or rice or wheat. But now that the prices have gone high, especially for flour, maize flour, uh, we are forced to find other means of having more of like creating a stable meal, or rather stable food. As of late, Cabinet Secretary mentioned that there will be huge importation of maize flour, and insisted that our local farmers should release maize that was locally farmed at an affordable price. But my question to you, CS, is this: how can they release this maize? As much as you're going to import cheaper maize flour, these people will be selling their produce at a loss. And that is the problem we want to tackle. Kindly implement policies that are favorable to our Kenyan local farmers. That is what we want. We want an economy that absorbs the local mwananchi as it goes all the way to multinationals. We cannot always say that we are going to expect the government to help us in everything. We know the government is there to support the Kenyan people in their endeavors, but generally, you have created tougher markets for local farmers, local hustlers to actually, work around issues. These issues, we need affordable fertilizers, affordable seedlings produce that we can use for farming. Each and every time, we hear local farmers complaining, wakisema uchumi inawaumiza. And this is because of these policies and these moves that you make. Huge amounts of importation is not going to solve the issue of food supply in our country. It won't. Because as much as you import, that means that we will have to keep on importing so that we can feed our Kenyan people. And that is not a long-term solution. Let's find long-term solutions. History ya incentivize processes will not help us. It does not help us. What we need is to provide us with the means necessary to come up with these produces on our own. That will be better for even the local mwananchi and for us local consumers. I know so many people don't know the price of unga now. It has gone to 200 shillings. How are people supposed to survive? There are no jobs. Employment rates have skyrocketed. People are graduating, wanarudi makwao kwenda kuketi. Yani hakuna kazi kabisa. And even when you think of doing something, when you start a small business, unagongwa na anti-competitive policies kabisa, zinakugonga, zinakutoa kwa market. Because the moment you decide to do something that is very relevant, guess what? Kuna mtu mkubwa fulani mahali ameona business idea yako, and they've actually implemented it on a large scale. Wewe ukijifanya hapo as a local trader, unapata umetolewa market. The other day ilikuwa issue ya China Square. Okay, thank China Square, because we get to get some of these products at an affordable price. History ya kamkunji mwache kabisa na hiyo kutufu mna tu umiza with prices. Your exorbitant prices are affecting us in so many ways. Mtu anataka tu kitu kidogo, instead of providing us with better prices, you go and mnatupe prices mmegonga, mmeongeza maprofit hazina mwelekeo. The greed that people have, and now this greed imeenda, and now it becomes systemic. You can see in our political regime how people are pulling and pushing moves. Sasa mki-affect our local farmers, venye mwa-affect, mwatoa, our irrigation projects, all of them are dead. None of them, hakuna zenye ziko alive. All of them are gone and gone. And now I wonder, what we hear, or rather what people have been advocating for, ni hizi agencies that are teaching farming, telling people that they're supposed to do this and this, but at a price. I wonder, are they really helping our farmers? How many farmers have actually succeeded by implementing easy new ways of farming? And now the introduction of GMO ndio hiyo imeingia kwa market. Kindly, I believe once these produces have come to the market, we as consumers, we require to see proper labeling of this produce, so that once we are buying and consuming these products, we know very well that we are consuming GMOs. Atukuli vitu tujui ni nini. We want to know it's either it's natural and organic, or either it is a genetically modified product, or other produce. That is what we want to know once the product gets into the market. So thank you guys so much for listening to my YouTube channel and podcast at the same time. My name is Toure. Kindly don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Bye.